Welcome back. I'm Multeyemeteor. This is something a little different from what I'm usually doing in that I wanted to show you guys something that I've been working on for the last, I guess, almost half a year now. It is, well, let's just say what it is. It is a magic set made entirely by me with a little bit of feedback from some of the community that's tied to my channel and some good friends. And basically, what it is a set set in the world of Llawyhn, which is spelled Llawyhn. And the first set is called it's a set which is the first of supposedly 3. If I end up finishing them, I'm always, not always, I'm almost halfway through the second set. The first set is called Seasons of Llawyhn. That is because the seasons play a role. I'm introducing one of many new mechanics. One is I'm making enchantments called seasons, or just seasons in general. The keyword means that that for a time period, this enchantment or this permanent is going to play an effect on the board. And there are some cards that kind of work with that and put counters, season counters on these seasons. And with, you know, they kind of progress. They kind of have like an end point. For example, if they have 5 season counters on them, and there's some kind of effect tied into those counters. Anyways, furthermore, this world Llawyhn is kind of plagued by political and ideological constraints from the Llawyhn Council, the Llawyhn High Council, which is populated mainly by a few nations. One is the Vagyvo, which is kind of like the prime, like they put the council together, and that's pretty much all you know in terms of where the council comes from in this set, but more will be explained in the next set. The Vagyvo is like game mechanically, they are primarily white, black, and then a touch of green. And I wanted to do something different with the colors that is normally done with Magic, because normally white is, well, not necessarily good, but it's light and healing and so on. And instead, white here means pride, purity, and tradition, and black means it's exile, it's shadows, it's ancestors. Blue is construction, imagination, control. Not too far from what it normally is, but I wanted to make some like really broad categories here that left more room for interpretation. Green is community, lineage, and life, not necessarily nature and all that stuff. Red is vitality, energy, and spontaneity. So that's basically the 5 colors and the 3 tenets that kind of follow those colors. So Vagyvo is like a very, very proud. I call them clavo. It's kind of like clan, but it basically means ancestral, or it means ethnicity in a sense. And they are very traditionally bound. There's something motivating them behind the scenes in a sense, which is where like the black colors, the whole thing about ancestors comes in, as well as the white color about the traditions and so on. And they have this whole thing about purity. They want to cleanse the country of banes, and banes are another thing which I'm progressively working into the sets. In this set, you have a few banes, and banes are like dragons or monsters, quote unquote. But it's also whatever the High Council decides a bane is, and sometimes it's not necessarily game mechanically a bane is not necessarily game mechanically what a bane is, or historically. For example, there's this clavo called Didin, which are like tiny creatures, kind of like halflings, a little bit more adorable in a sense, and they have a very close kinship to a natural kinship to foxes, and they are part of the old traditional Vagyvo children's stories. So many young Vagyvo have this kind of like attachments to the Didin and the stories and so on. But the decree of Salis, Salis is Vagyvo, is he's like the leader. He's the oldest ancestor of the old Vajivians, and his decree is that all banes must be extinct. They must be destroyed, so we can have a peaceful society, or peaceful societies all over Llawyhn. So you have this thing about the Vagyvo being very purity and honor bound, but at the same time there's something that motivates them to towards a purity which is not necessarily purity in a good and clean sense. So there's this kind of conflict in the Vajivian culture and in their motivations. So, and underneath them, there's every big clavo or nation has kind of protectorates or people living under them, and the Didin lives underneath the Vagyvo, but they're they're outlawed, they're considered banes. And the soldiers often go out to try to kill these Didins if they hear that there's a small group of Didins somewhere in the forest or in small towns. They used to have their own old towns, and one of the most famous towns of the Didin is Berryville. But there's a very famous in this history, or in this mythology, there's a very famous battle of the Berryville slaughters, where the Vagyvo soldiers entered Berryville, and Berryville is also a name that comes up in the children's story, so that's why it's doubly significant. And these Vajivian soldiers just destroyed this city or this small town, which was kind of like the center hub for all Didin activity, and now it's gone, basically. Furthermore, you have the Seshvir, which are barbarians, and they're more akin to the Vagyvo, except that they live out in the wild. They're much more bound by a tribal tradition. So, in terms of game mechanics, let's just round up Vagyvo as a nation. Vagyvo is they have two basic abilities, which are kind of normal abilities. There's nothing new about them. They have Exalted and they have Banding. And the thing about Exalted is they don't only have Exalted, they also have abilities that pertain to Exalted. So if one permanent has an Exalted and it triggers, has Exalted ability and it triggers, then another permanent might gain an effect from that. For example, you may draw a card whenever an Exalted effect triggers or something like that. So that's kind of what the Vagyvo is like as a game mechanically is about, is Exalted and Banding. And there's also some cards that, or at least one card that enables you to attack with two creatures banding and still gain the Exalted trigger. So they're very martially oriented in that sense. They are kind of like they really want to force through the extinction of the banes, so you could have a peaceful world where it's not governed by the randomness of monsters and things which are unexplained and so on. And magic, for example, magic is something that's not very prevalent in Llawyhn, or it's not prevalent in the same sense that it is in other Magic the Gathering worlds. All right, so that's the first one. I think I'm just going to cut off here and just drop to the next nation. So thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. Please let me know what you think. I've put in some cards, as you've seen, different kinds of cards that pertain to the Vagyvo, the Seshvia, and the Didin. And I'd like to get some feedback on it. I should say, though, and I should have probably said that from the beginning, but all the card art has pretty much been lifted or borrowed from artists, and I haven't really asked permission, because this is not something I don't ever it's not made for commercial use. And if it ever picks up or something like that, I'm going to I'm going to find a way to have new card art made or something where, you know, everybody is respected in the whole business decision and so on. But so far it's just for fun. It's just I'm borrowing these. I hope the artist, if they have any problem with it, please contact me. I know it's kind of like the other way around. You should contact them first and ask if they have any problem with it. But it started out with me just finding random art and just doing it for fun, and now I kind of finished the whole set, and the whole set is 247 like spells and special lands and so on, and 10 basic lands with the special card art, and 19 tokens, I think. So all in all, I think 76 cards in total in this set, and I plan on kind of making this available to be played on Cockatrice, because we're already testing it on Cockatrice, and if somebody else plays in using Apprentice or something else, I guess I could turn it into an Apprentice, or make it available for Apprentice. Anyways, hope you liked it. Leave any kind of feedback you want. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys what you think of it. I guess it's kind of a surprise for you guys that I've been messing around with this stuff, unless you're one of the people who I've asked to check it out and test it, or told about at some point. But yeah. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. I'm MulteyeMeteor. This was Seasons of Llawyhn, or an introduction to the Vagyvo. So yeah, later.